Hola a todos. Thank you for the invitation for this third symposium for Hispanic farmers and agricultural professionals. Today, I will presenting my project, Education about Implementation of Conservation Practices on the Municipal Motocross track of Las Mariás, Puerto Rico. Well, my name is Jonathan Irizarry. I am in my last semester of my bachelor degree with a concentration in agricultural education. Also, I am in the applying process for the master degree in the same specialization. In addition to be intern in the Champion Conservation Learning Network, I am the specialist in conservation content for Pictus Puerto Rico and the special agricultural transfer in Bienestar Agrícola. We all know that mano-Y-ola is a small minority and women-owned consulting company based in North Carolina with team members and offices in Mississippi, Puerto Rico, California, Texas, Louisiana, Serbia, and the Netherlands. And its mission is to help each individual professional love what they do. The Champion in Conservation Learning Network, it's the purpose that made me with us today. And it's a project intended to establish a cadre for trained bilingual leaders and champions in conservation and mentor producers and agricultural professionals who will become multipliers and promoters of the conservation in agriculture. The project Justification for in my case is this place that you can see in the images. This land is affected by the threat of motorized vehicles and the evident compactation of the land, loss of the porosity, erosive effects due to the action of the water, and basically the elimination of their first organic horizon. The vegetation is affected by the alteration of the edaphic properties and the loss of the vegetation cover. Also, by such effects, it's understood that there is a concern that we need to address it to control the environmental impact, safeguard the remaining natural resources, and continue the establishment of the sport practices. On the left, we can see the space in the natural mood. And the surroundings, in the upside, you can see some disturbances areas caused by the Hurricane Irma and Maria. And on the right, you can see the modifications made to the environment with the purpose of establish a motocross track. Following that justification, the following objectives were developed to implement the project. Develop an educational and conservation model for the authorities and the personnel in charge to the motocross track in the municipality of Mariás, educating the personnel in charge through demonstrations of the implementation of possible conservation practices in the municipal motocross track, sponsor a farmer and educated on conservation practices and identify possible concerns, and educated the sponsoring fund in the propagation of vetiver for commercial purposes. Among the activities to meet this objective, there was an interactive workshop with the personnel in charge of the track. Work was done with the importance of the natural resources, identification of concerns, possible conservation practices, and the construction of a tool to mark contours. In addition, a few practices were carried out contour marking and the establishment of vegetative barriers. Other images, and now we will see a small clip about the workshop of that day. As part of the workshop, a formative assessment was carried out to measure the knowledge before and after the workshop. For the participant population, when administered the pretest, an average of 2.42 was obtained, equivalent of the 48.32%. After completing the planning, which was composed for the explanatory lesson and a third activity when administered the post-test, an average of 4 2008 was reached equivalent to the 81.67%. This represents a 33.34 increase of knowledge in the participant population. Continue with the fulfillment of the objective. A farmer was adopted. Mr. Manuel Velázquez is a retired lawyer and a farmer owner of the Plantación Velázquez Irizarry. Its main products are Hispanic coriander and cilantro. With Manuel, we visit a mother farm, Bienestar Farm. He learned about different conservation practices, and now he could copy them to his farm. In addition, a focus was made on the propagation of vetiver. Manuel was given seedlings to be established in mother plants. This is in the future can serve to a local commercial producer to meet the needs of the municipality and other spaces. So in conclusion, all planning activities were fully completing of the objective step. It was urged to implement the conservation practices presented not only in the motocross track, but also in the municipal cemetery, in the athletic and tennis complex, and in the fine arts center, and other areas into the municipality. Based on the climate smart agriculture and forestry strategy, I recommend it to strengthen the education, training, and technical assistance, and building and expanding the existing education and outreach efforts. In addition, develop the forest resiliency strategy to increase the rate of reforestation, especially after disturbances. In times of pandemic, no one's considered the opportunity to do an internship. However, mano-Y-ola will future the new how to provide us with all the experiences remotely on a field visits. I appreciate the opportunity to have been able to meet the rest of the colleagues in this great experience. I take a different perspective of the conservation of natural resources. I take all leadership tools, but above all, a desire to continue development professionally, not for myself, but for the good of others and the future of await us. Thank you, mano-Y-ola, for this opportunity, Nolo, Maya, and all the great team that make this possible. Thank you for Plantación Velázquez Irizarry, the Municipality of Las Marias, and Bienestar Farm for making it possible. Thank you to Brian Photography for the use of the drone, because of Puerto Rico for the technical support, and Biosys for the metaverse supply. Thank you all for your time. Any question will be welcome. Muchas gracias.